And hello, and welcome to the Kyoshi Herbie Bagwell TV show. I am your host, Kyoshi Herbie Bagwell. I want to thank a lot of people from the last weekend's karate tournament that was in the Rhode Island area. And I want to thank you all for saying hello to me and walking up to me that you really like the show that we're doing here. And on top of that, of course, Frank and Lori, I'm not going to tell you their last names. I didn't get prior approval. But at the end of the day, my producer is Lori, and of course, the owner, of course, he that runs this place, SEC TV, is Frank. So I love them both so very much, and they make me look really good in front of the camera. Without further ado, this is our part 4, our last segment of Beginner Intermediate Taekempo. Let's get started. Taekempo, height. Taekempo martial arts. Once again, it's a combination of Taekwondo and on the Korean side, and of course Shaolin Kempo on the Chinese/Japanese side. The reason why there's a twist of Japanese and Shaolin Kempo, because of course over in the Orient, both cultures, Chinese and Japanese, there is going to be influence from each significant part of that culture. There's going to always be a Chinese influence in Japan and always a Japanese influence in China. So therefore, the two intertwine. That's the biggest key. The key is that you have to really respect each other's culture in terms of martial arts. Martial arts is this big, huge, broad ball of a mixture, hence where you get mixed martial arts from. They're taking ridge hands, they're taking Superman punches, they're taking forearm strikes, knee strikes, they're taking leopard punches, straight punches, they're taking blocks, they're taking everything you can think of, and they're putting it into this big, huge bowl. If you're from New Orleans, or if you've been in New Orleans before, or New Orleans as they call it, you'll understand there's a big, huge pot of stew called a gumbo. And a gumbo is a mixture of everything you can think of. Everything you can think of, any type of food, seafood is all thrown into one. And that's called a gumbo. It's phenomenal. At the end of the day, that's exactly how martial arts is. But it's thrown in there very, very carefully. So without further ado, let's get started. Taekempo kai, height, bow, hands by my side. We're going to go right into, we're going to flow into the intermediate part now of Taekempo martial arts. It's a green belt kata called Wan Yo. Bow, Junbi, Hana. I come up, come down slow. Okay, I look to my left. 2 forearm strike, knife hand strike, lift, punch, chamber. 2 forearm strike, knife hand strike, lift, punch, chamber. Now, I'm going to go backstage. Now from here, I do a side kick, double knife 1, double knife 2, double knife 3, feint block, spear finger kiai, aya. I want to back up some, okay, from here. Chamber, I turn, 1, 2, 3, chamber, back us to you for a moment. 1, 2, 3, chamber. Now, instead of me going away from you, I'm going to go towards you so you can actually see what this kata looks like. I step out, front stance, middle block. Kick, punch, circular block, kick, punch. Okay, let me just back up again. After I punch, I go into a fighting stance. My right hand's in the front. I'm going to do a back leg side kick. I turn, side kick, 2 forearm block, high chamber, aya. Now, after a person does their last move, aya. Now we end it. Right leg, okay? Martial arts and fitness, I've been in the industry now well over 40 years, since I was 12 and 13 years of age. Been an athlete my whole life. Grew up right here in this town called Groton. It was called the Groton Redskins a long time ago. A lot of fun. And during that time, I got into so many martial arts. Goju karate with Sensei Chuck Merriman, which is now Grandmaster Chuck Merriman. He now lives in Arizona. Tony Mayo, I've got involved with, people like that. Domingo Llanos, all those guys, of course, in the Goju section here in, of course, Groton, New London area. During that time, my martial arts has just broadened. I got involved with Sensei or Sifu Tim Raynor up in Norwich, Connecticut. From Sifu Tim Raynor in Norwich, Connecticut, I went on to Master Wong, who was in Westport, Connecticut, and that's where I got into my deepest part of my Shaolin Kempo walk. I got involved with Leroy Jones, who is Grandmaster Jones now in my Taekwondo walk. And having all of those geniuses who I was allowed to train on their shoulders is where I am today. And I humbly bow to all those men who has got me to this far in my point in my life. They had to clean up some stuff that some previous instructors taught me that was incorrect, and now I am correct or in alignment where I'm supposed to be. So with that being said, when you come to Bagwell Academy of Martial Arts, it's really about building quality martial artists by teaching quality martial arts. And that's the premise, and that's the foundation of everything, building quality from day one, okay? Let's get into now. Now, green belt combinations in Taekempo martial arts and Kempo will be 7A and 7B. So from position, height, Kempo fighting stance. This is what we practice in our karate school. Our hands are like this. When our hands are here, first move, combination 7A, cross block, back fist, iron palm. One more time. Cross block, back fist, iron palm. Landing in a fighting stance. Combination 7B. Hands are up. Cross block again. I step in punch, come down, punch again, elbow strike. Aya. My back is to you for a moment. Jiu-jitsu foot sweep. Aya. Knife hand strike in the groin. Pop my hands up, right over left. Okay? Simple. Green belt also entails 1 pinyan and 2 pinyan. The pinyans are basically a kata. They call them pinyans in the Kempo portion of Taekempo, where Taekwondo has katas, Chunji, Dangun, Dosan, Wanyo, you just witnessed in the green belt kata, okay? But pinyans move faster than katas, and that's the difference. Pinyans move faster than katas. So if you're ever going to want to compete, there's a great chance that you will never see a pinyan in a competition. If you do, it's not going to score well because it moves too fast. Katas and Shotokan and Goju and Taekwondo, those katas in those particular styles are phenomenal and they're beautiful. It shows a wide range of the body where you can actually see the body move. So competitions are also a part of Bagwell Academy of Martial Arts, okay? Now I'm gonna go and do 2 pinyans back to back. 1 pinyan and of course 2 pinyan. Height, 1 pinyan. I come here, step out, look to my left, cat stance, step out, low block. These are called half moon punch. As I'm approaching towards the camera, you will see what a half moon looks like. And now, thus, here comes the 1 pinyan. I step out to my left, half moon punch 1, chamber, half moon punch 2, half moon punch 3. We get our power from our chambers. Chamber, turn, low block. Half moon punch, turn, low block. Half moon punch, cat stance. Now, instead of me going to my back towards you, again, I want you to see it again, okay? Low block, half moon punch 1, half moon punch 2, half moon punch 3. Chamber, turn, low block, half moon punch, turn, low block, half moon punch. Now I want you to see how this kata ends. So low block, half moon punch, okay? Now when I end it, when I punch, it's going to be what they call a hard chamber, okay? So now, if I came off my low block this way, chamber, turn, low block. Same thing over here, okay? Chamber, turn, low block. Half moon punch, turn, low block, half moon punch. Now, hard chamber, left leg goes back, I come up, I breathe out, left hand opens, bow and say, height. Now we're going to get into two pinyin. Two pinyin obviously is a step up from one. It's a bit more intricate, not complicated. It has just more moving parts. That's all it has, okay? Here we go. Two pinyin. Height. Come here. Breathe out. Look to my left. Always look before you strike. My chamber is above my belt. My belt's called an obi. So my belt is here, or my obi is here. My chamber is above my obi. Low block. Half moon, leopard punch. Turn, low block. Half moon, leopard punch. Cat stance. Low block. This is two pinyin. Half moon, straight punch. Hammer strike, chamber. Half moon, straight punch in a riding horse stance. Hammer strike, chamber. Half moon, straight punch, getting close to the camera. Hammer strike, chamber. Now I'm going to back up a little bit. Left hand, right ear, low block. Half moon, uppercut. Turn, low block. Half moon, uppercut. Now, instead of me going away from you, I want to go towards you, so now you can actually see all the application that's being applied in two pinyin. So now that I'm here, low block, half moon, high block, leopard punch, uppercut. Half moon, high block, leopard punch, uppercut. Half moon, high block, leopard punch, uppercut. Once again, my left hand, right ear, turn, low block, okay? Now when I hit that low block, I want you to see from this angle now, okay? So now, turn, low block. Watch my right hand, half moon. It's a middle block, snap punch, okay? Turn, low block, half moon, middle block, punch. This side is different. Hard chamber. Now we have to end it. We go back to a riding horse stance. Left hand opens, bow and say, height. Pinyins, katas, forms, and patterns. Pretty much they're all the same. The patterns, the forms, and the katas are definitely the same. When you go to certain parts of New York or just certain parts of the country, you will hear certain part of certain things. Going to Canada, we call it testing, they call it grading. A lot of people up in Canada call it grading and not testing. There are some styles here in this country, mostly Tang Soo Do. Tang Soo Do calls testing grading. It's the same thing. Their fighting isn't like the fighting that we fight. We fight hard in point fighting. We actually hit people. Okay, so martial arts isn't about play. Now, there are some schools that have 300 and 400 students, and they're playing kickball and volleyball in their karate uniforms, and the kids are running around screaming and having a good time, and because they got cute little bows in their hair, they got a stripe over around their belt. That's play. At Bagwell Academy of Martial Arts, we're about real life. We're about survival. If you're reading the news or you know what's going on in these schools, you want your sons and daughters to be able to protect themselves. Okay, mommy and daddy don't have time to run down to school every single day because little Johnny and little Jane is getting into something that they can handle themselves. Okay, I'm not advocating violence. What I'm advocating is intelligent self-defense. That's my get out of jail free card, okay? It's called intelligent self-defense. You have to be able to protect yourself. Again, if you look at what's happening in the world and even local news today, It's not really nice out there, so you want to make sure that your sons and your daughters are able to protect themselves from an unfortunate attack against them. No one wants to get violated. Let's call it what it is. Let's take off the rose-colored glasses and let's be real. You want your sons and daughters to protect themselves. Now, how does that intertwine with pinyans and katas and forms and patterns? Easy. Forms, patterns, and katas are all about discipline. If a person can remember all these moves, if they can remember all these moves, then when it comes down to self-defense, someone's trying to grab me on my neck or grab my lapel or grab my shoulders, I can easily defend myself and strike and get out of a situation and be able to run and, of course, tell the authorities and contact police. That's what it comes down to. No one's going to have a 15-round bout like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier back in the early 70s. We don't have time for that. We want to get in, we want to get out. I call them self-survival techniques. Get in and get out. That's what it all comes down to. A lot of folks today want all their skill, they want success, they want abundance, they want increase, they want it in a microwave, and it's not going to happen that way. You have to work for everything you want. You have to work for it. And unfortunately, when their goals are dressed in overalls and it looks like work, young people today, as young as 40 and under, they don't want to work for it. They want it all in a microwave. And sorry, it's not going to happen that way. Because your glory, your abundance, your increase, your overflow, your destiny is going to look like overalls and a lunch pail, which means you have to go to work. You have to get up on that. So without further ado, that's what it's all about. It's all about the work that you put in. It's called NSF. 3 letters that no human being wants to see. It's called non-sufficient funds or non-sufficient work or non-sufficient involvement or non-sufficient time. You got to put the time, the involvement, and the work into it, and therefore you get a whole lot out of it. That's how it works. Okay, let's move on. Now we're going to go into blue belt. Blue belt, or green-white belt is combinations 8A and 8B. Here are the combinations for green-white belt. Height, Kempo fighting stance. I'm going to show you traditional, then of course self-defense. Traditional first. Straight punch or a hook is coming at me. It doesn't matter. Okay? I'm here. My first move on 8A, I have to block. Then I grab the person's wrist. Snap kick, step, cross, back fist, iron palm. You put your hands up one more time. Okay? Buddhist palm block. You're going to block. You're going to tuck in that thumb. Block. Grab the wrist. Snap kick, step, cross, back fist, iron palm. These are all self-defense techniques. Kempo and Hapkido. Hapkido is where self-defense gets, Hapkido is where Taekwondo gets its self-defense from. And Shaolin Kempo, it's already built in to the system. Okay, it's already built in to the art, I should say. Okay, so Kempo already has self-defense already built into its art, into its discipline. Taekwondo gets its self-defense from Hapkido. Okay, so this is Hapkido and this is Taekwondo. We got to take from Hapkido to get our self-defense from. Tang Soo Do, okay? Tang Soo Do gets its self-defense from Mudu Kwan. So here's Mudu Kwan and here's Tang Soo Do. It's got to take from Mudu Kwan to get its self-defense. And a lot of Tang Soo Do practitioners have no clue what Mudu Kwan is. Once again, parents, before you sign your kids up for any karate program, make sure that they're just not selling you something, that they actually have knowledge and substance behind it. Okay? Height. Kempo fighting stance. Combinations 8A and 8B, green-white belt. Buddhist palm, tuck in my thumb. I block, grab, snap kick, step, cross, back fist, iron palm. Okay? Now we're going into 8B. 8B, hands are up. Training purposes, we come up, we block, grab, turn, 2 strikes, 1, 2, right over left into a fighting stance. Okay? Now, here we go into self-defense mode. Same technique, everything is just different now. My hands are different, my mentality is different, I can feel danger coming at me, whatever the case may be. Now, although at this rink, at 9th degree black belt, of course, if I feel danger coming from me, I'm going to use techniques literally from black belt and up. And you're going to witness those techniques, of course, in a later show. This is just green belt. This just shows you how effective and how easy to apply these techniques if danger comes towards you. Straight punch or a hook, it doesn't matter. I'm going to block. I'm going to divert that negative energy someplace else. Now, a block is not just a block can be a strike as well. Grab the wrist, snap kick, grab, punch, back fist, iron palm. Everything moves so fast. It moves so fast. It's just amazing how fast it moves, okay? Once again, straight punch or a hook, it doesn't matter. I block. You see I'm getting out of the way. One more time. I'm moving a little bit fast and I'll slow it down, okay? I understand that this digital work can't keep up with my speed. I understand that. I want to straight punch or a hook. So I block, grab, turn, strike, strike, right over left, okay? From a side view, so you can see it better on that 8B. Traditional training, self-defense. Let's go to self-defense now. I'm sitting here. I feel danger coming towards me. Not a problem at all. Again, a straight punch or a hook. It doesn't matter. My first move, I block. I get out the way. Now, block is not only a block can be a strike if it's done hard enough, quick enough, and effective. After I block, I grab, I turn. I'm looking at my opponent. Strike, strike, right over left. Simple. Okay? That's how it has to work. Everything moves so fast in real life. The closest thing to real life is, of course, a tournament. But a tournament is still considered a what? A controlled environment. It's controlled because after you score a point, you have to what? Stop. And if you don't stop, then unfortunately you can be penalized. In the street, there are no officials. There are no gatekeepers. Mommy and daddy are not there to save little Johnny or little Jane. That's why I tell all my parents, cut the umbilical cord and let that child scrape an elbow, scrape a knee. Let them fall down. Let them get back up on their own. Mommy and daddy these days are like helicopter parents. They won't let their kids do anything. And then they wonder why they're 40 years old living in the basement saying, Mom, when's dinner? You have to let the kids go. Let them experience life on their own. I call it giving them independent supervision. You still can keep in contact with your kids, but eventually you have to cut the cord. You have to cut it. And a lot of parents today, they just won't cut it. A lot of parents today forgot how they were raised. And now they want to negotiate and coddle and hold their child. No, you're making your child weaker and not stronger. Okay? But a lot of parents don't want to hear it, so they're making their kids weak. Okay, here we go. Hands are up. Okay, let's rock and roll. Once again, green white belt, 8B. Straight punch or a hook, it doesn't matter. I block, grab, turn. This is one strike. This is considered one strike because it's happening at the same time. Wham, right over left. Cat stance in the dojo, fighting stance out in the street. Okay, either way. Now, going on to blue belt. Blue belt's called the Yugo pattern. Yugo pattern is a blue belt kata in Taekwondo. As I mentioned earlier in the show, katas and forms and patterns are the same. Pinyons are different. Pinions move faster. If I did an actual pinion in the speed that it was supposed to be incorporated, it'd be hard to see all the moving parts that's going on. So I slow things down here on the TV show so you at home can not only understand, you can also view it, okay? Yo-go pattern. So I come here, Junbi, Hana. I come here, I'm going to abbreviate some of the moves, okay? Breathe in, step out, punch, punch, shuffle, punch, punch, step, chamber, left hand, middle block. Kick, left, right, middle block. Kick, right, left, one step. Punch, half moon. Punch, half moon. Fighting stance. I turn, back leg side kick, forearm strike. Back leg kick, double knife. My back is to you only for a moment. Spear finger. Turn, open hand, left hand spear finger. Chamber. Let me go towards you, then go one back from you. Strike, punch, rolling back fist. Now we're going to end it, okay? Let me show you how we're going to end it here. My right leg steps out. I turn to a 2 forearm block. Chamber, 2 forearm block, kiai. Aya, baro. Left foot to right, right leg. And that's blue belt, Yugo pattern. Getting right into Te Kempo now. Te Kempo is a combination of Taekwondo and Shaolin Kempo. Fighting stance in the dojo, self-defense is always here. When you see danger coming, that's when you pop your hands up. Any move from white belt to 9th degree black belt techniques right from here, okay? Now, traditional training, 9A, okay? I block, feint block, grab from a side stance to a front stance, strike, extract, grab, turn, strike, strike, strike. Okay? Once again, side view, feint block, side stance. After I block that punch, I grab the wrist from a side stance, front stance, extract, grab, turn, 1, 2, 3. Okay? 9B. 9B is very effective to trying to grab you around your neck, your lapel, or your shoulders. It doesn't really matter, okay? Your first move, you're gonna block here, okay? If you're doing self-defense. If you're doing the regular technique from in the dojo, you come here, butterfly chamber, you go back, you block, hands come down, slightly bring them in, aya. Double knife hand strike on the collarbones. That's how it works, okay? All the techniques that I showed you on this show is not only self-defense, but they're also self-survival techniques. Once Bagwell Academy in this area in Groton does open up, we're going to have a massive women's self-survival technique seminar. Massive. You're going to hear about it. Don't worry about it. All great things take time. Okay, so since God is guiding my steps, He's making my crooked road straight, all is well with me. Thank you for watching the Kyoshi Herbie Bagwell TV show. I am your host, Kyoshi Herbie Bagwell. Thank you and good night.